So this guy was given 5 weeks to make a video game based on the biggest movie ever, and it turned out so bad they buried 1 million copies in the desert. So this company is Atari, and back in the late 70s, Atari basically invented video games. They made games like Pong, Space Invaders, they made Pac-Man. If you played video games at home, you had an Atari, and everybody had one. By the early 80s, Atari was massive. They controlled something like 80% of the video game market. And then in 1982, this movie comes out, and it's called E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial. And it's like the biggest movie ever. Everyone sees it, it's everywhere. Atari executives are like, we need to make an E.T. game. This is gonna print money. So they get the rights from Steven Spielberg to make the game. But here's the problem. It's already July and they want the game out by Christmas. That's only 5 months away. And normally to make a good video game takes something like a year. So Atari doesn't care. They want it for Christmas. So they call up this guy called Howard Scott. And Howard is one of their best developers. He made some of their most popular games. So they're like, Howard, you're the guy. Make us an ET game. And Howard's like, okay, cool. When do you need to buy? And they're like, Christmas. He's like, wait. That's 5 months away. That's impossible. And they're like, you know what? Actually, we need time for manufacturing and cartridges and all this other stuff. So you actually just have 5 weeks. Howard's like, that's impossible. You can't make a good game in 5 weeks. But Atari is like, if anybody can do it, you can do it. Figure it out. And so Howard actually agrees and he starts to work on it. So for 5 weeks straight, Howard is working nonstop. Barely sleeping. They're trying to build this game and he actually does finish it. But here's the thing. It's not good. It's confusing. The controls are bad. There's constant glitches and it's not fun, but it's done and Atari needs it right now. So Atari manufactures 5 million copies of the game. That's more copies than there are Atari consoles at home. They're so confident it's going to be huge. Then Christmas actually comes, the game launches, and people do buy it because it's ET. But once they play it, they realize this is terrible. Like so horribly bad that kids hate it and parents are actually going back to stores to return it. It becomes known as one of the worst video games ever made. So Atari sells something like 1.5 million copies, but they made 5 million. So there's 3.5 million copies that are unsold. They're in warehouses and just sitting there and nobody wants them. So Atari makes a decision. They take all these copies of unused games, then they bury them in a landfill in New Mexico. They literally just bury them in the desert. And what's worse is the damage that this actually did to the whole video game industry. Like the ET game was so bad and Atari flooded the market with so many terrible games that people stopped trusting video games altogether. Sales collapsed. Other companies went out of business. The entire video game industry crashed, and they called this the video game crash of 1983. Atari went from being worth billions of dollars to almost worthless overnight. Did Howard destroy Atari, or did Atari destroy itself by giving him an impossible task?